Hello guys, this is Royal69501 and welcome to my channel, and also welcome to my last video of the Trinity Wars event. This is part 6 of 6. Sorry that I'm making this video a bit too late, but work. Well, the comic I'm gonna display, which we all know, is part of that crossover back in the 90s. Is the final night Green Lantern issue number 80, shedding some ductile light. Check out this cover. Awesome, huh? Over here. Okay, stay. Well, I'm gonna give you my thoughts and review about Trinity Wars Justice League issue number 23, part 6 of 6. Well, finally the story went to an end. All good things have to end sometime. So overall, I have to say that I really like it. It was real fun read. You have a lot of action here. We get to see the Justice League fighting with one another. And the only person, and they're still fighting with the Pandora box, which happens to be the Skull. So the thing is, this whole thing, this comic book had, what it started to be as a Pandora storyline. Well, this comic book, it made a like 180-degree turn. What started with the Pandora box and then being the crime syndicate. You see, the whole thing, we all thought that the story is going to be about Pandora box and Pandora. At least that's what I understood. But the thing is, you have two stories in one. Two separate stories which eventually will meet on the end, which does that part. So the Pandora box or the Skull is not the Pandora box as we thought it will be. Kind of. So the thing is that the Pandora box was created in some other dimension. From that dimension was sent to our dimension. That's why it was affecting everybody, except to Constantine. Constantine was the only one who can hold the box without being possessed by it. Because the only one who can open the box is somebody from the dimension where the box came from in the first place, which does happen to be the outsider, the Fred Astaire lookalike. Well, that's him. So the thing is that the Pandora box is no more or less than just a key, a dimensional key. That's what it is. So that way, the crime syndicate, they can come from that dimension, whatever that dimension is, to our dimension. Kind of like a boom tube, but without the tube. Yeah. So we get to find out who's the traitor or the cell that was infiltrated in the league. We get to find out that Superman was never possessed by the box. Never. He did what he did by something else, which I find it interesting because I never saw that coming. At all. That comic book gave me a lot of surprises that I was not expecting or see it coming. Maybe one or two, but the rest of it, not at all. So, you see, Superman did not get possessed by the box that made him kill Dr. Light. Or it was something else. The traitor was sent. Actually, the traitor came from is part of the crime syndicate, which I thought that was from Amanda Weller, but Amanda Weller is not. Well, Amanda Weller sent that superhero to the team, but I don't think that Amanda Weller knew that she came from, that she was part of the crime syndicate. So what it started, like I said before, what it started as a Pandora box ended up being two separate stories. So on part 6, the story is kind of like split up. Bah! You got Pandora on one side, which the story with Pandora and the 7 Sins will continue on the Pandora series, and then the other half of the story, which happens to be the crime syndicate, will continue on Forever Evil crossover. So where this comic book finished, the Forever Evil continues. And now I'm gonna make this observation. On the end of this comic book, we see the members of the crime syndicate charging. Fine. I was like, okay, when this one starts, there's going to be some kick-ass. Good. Well, there is not. There's a big gap between this comic book and this comic book. There's a huge gap. Because the way that this comic book ended, we see the crime syndicate charging towards the Justice League, all our superheroes. Where here, on this story, tells you that the heroes of this comic book, the Justice League, are dead. Here are dead. And here they were alive, so there's a big gap between that comic book and this comic book, in the sense that you don't get to see nothing or read something about if they finally confront each other, or there was some fighting or something. No. So there's a big gap. Maybe they didn't. Maybe what I think is that they didn't want to waste time doing maybe like an actual combat between the crime syndicate and the Justice League, not to make it like another Royal Rumble issue, maybe, I don't know, which maybe eventually on the end, I don't know how this is going to end. So apparently all the superheroes here are dead, and here they are alive. So overall, Justice League 23, it was real good. It was real good, and I really had fun of it reading. I had a lot of fun reading it. Now, overall about the story, about the whole miniseries, the whole crossover. Overall, I have to say, I'll be honest, I had fun reading the Trinity Wars. It was fun. Yeah, maybe some of you did not like it because it's kind of like a part of what happened before the New 52, which I never read it. So for me, it's new. Excuse me. So as a mini-series, it's fun. I really enjoy reading Trinity Wars. And what I like about the story is all the twists and turns and all the surprises. There was always some shock and awe, except for issue number 5, I think it was like, it was okay. It did not wow me. But that one, it did wow me. Because I was not expecting all the stuff that I saw on that issue. And all the questions that I had from part 1 to part 5, all those questions that you had or you might have, you get the answers on part 6. All of them. All those questions, you get an answer right there. And the thing is, that makes sense. I had a lot of questions, say, okay, how he got to say Superman by killing Dr. Light. Well, I get the answer there. And the answer that I got, it makes sense. So it's not like some of the stories where you have a question, and then when you finally get the answer of the question that you had, well, kind of like when you get the answer of the question that you have, kind of like doesn't make sense. You just go like, okay, I have got a question, but this answer, it hasn't done anything. So I'm still in the same place? Well, in my case, this comic book answered all the questions that I had from previous issue number 1. But the thing is that what I did not like was what it started to be one thing and that being another. So the whole thing was not about Pandora Box. It was about Crime Syndicate. Maybe that was the churn, trying kind of like surprise us. Well, it did surprise me, but that's the only part that I didn't like. Is what it started one thing and then to be completely something else. Although it's a great story. Don't misunderstand me. It's a great story. That's the only part that I didn't like. The story start to be like a crime, Pandora Box, well, and that being about the crime syndicate. So it's like, okay, although the story is plain that it's a key and not the Pandora per se as we think it was, and I don't know what the 7 sins had to do with the skull. If the skull is not the Pandora Box, where the 7 sins come from then? So that means that there's another box somewhere. So we thought that the Pandora Box is not a Pandora Box. So that means that on the series of Pandora is her quest to search for the box. Because we all knew that as far as I know, the Pandora Box is not the Pandora Box. It's more like a key, interdimensional key. So unless that the 7th sin came from some other dimension, well, I don't know. But hey, it's comic books. So I'm not gonna be breaking my head trying to analyze things. So because if I start to analyze, okay, why this don't make sense here, this doesn't make sense there, okay, what had this have to do here, and when not over there, I'm gonna end up making myself crazy. So, just small details. That's all. But I have to say, let's face it, it's comic book. Nothing can be perfect. Nothing's perfect on this line. Nothing at all. So, overall, as a 6-part miniseries, it's a 5 out of 5 because I had a lot of fun. Once that you get to read it, if you decide to read it, you can get it in floppy, or you can wait for the trade. Because once that you have all the issues, whether it's a trade or floppy, it will read a lot better, a lot faster. But it's fun. I really like it. I had a lot of fun reading Trinity Wars. Well, guys, this is it. I hope that you like it. Till later. Bye.